Alright, so here are the chickens. The chicks, the baby chicks that are in the brooder. This is the first batch of the year. And I'm Dan with Blue Dog Farms, head coologist and chief chicken wrangler. And we have a problem with the brooder. It's more a problem with the barn. So this was a wash stall for horses. It's got concrete block on 3 of the 4 walls. The barn roof leaks, and it's gotten worse this year. Last year I made do, but this year there's too much water coming in here. The reason I know there's too much water, besides the buckets that are catching water, here's another one, got a couple inches of water in it. Here's another one, it's got 3 inches of water in it. This whole top was wet this morning, and when the water runs down underneath, it hits the heating lamps and the heating lamps break. And this morning when I came out, all 3 of the light bulbs were broken. Fortunately, I didn't lose any chicks. Everybody was huddled up in a corner and was enough mass to stay warm, but that can't be a regular thing, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So I've been running different scenarios through my head of how I can keep the water off of this brooder plate. If I just put a piece of plastic over it, well, all the water just runs down on the chickens. At least the lights don't break. Wet bedding makes for sick chicks, and that's not good either. Thought about running plastic up along the ceiling, except these chains for the hanging feeders are in the way, and the doors behind me are in the way to run the water out anywhere, and it wouldn't even run out of the barn, so it'd still be a mess in the barn. So we decided we would just move the brooder. So this is a stall that the laying hens were in. We've got it cleaned out. The laying hens are out at pasture. It's got a concrete floor, one of the few stalls with a concrete floor in this barn. And we are looking at moving the brooder into here. It's got a couple of issues. One is that this wall is the prime candidate to put the brooder lights against, but it's a wooden wall with with gaps in it. See, I can get my fingers through there, which means air will blow through there. Not good for new chickens. Also, there's a door in the wall. I think originally that was made for dogs before we came here, for a dog run, but we kept laying hens in here, and that's where they went in and out of the stall to get outside. And that also is not conducive to new chicks. And there's a window pane missing. Now for adult chickens that's just fine, but for new chicks it's not so much. So I've got my work cut out for me. They have to move tonight because it's raining tomorrow. And this side of the barn, the roof is in much better shape and it doesn't leak as much. All the manure's been shoveled out. We've got a clean floor, so let's get to work. Alright, so I've got plastic up on the wooden wall. We're going to hang the lights right here against this wall, and the plastic will keep the wind from coming through those boards. It's just stapled up to the boards. It'll keep the wind out. I hang them from these 2x4s from the ceiling. Should be able to just transfer the chains right over to there, just like they are in the existing brooder. And using mainly duct tape, I got that window covered up. Not the greatest, but it really cut back on the draftiness in this stall. And then I put some of that pink foam insulation in this hole. Keep the wind and critters and everything out of that hole. So I built this little wall so I can have stuff sitting in there that the chicks can't get at, and they won't be able to figure out how to get through the door if there's a little crack. And the shavings can go up against that. Now I'll run a piece clear across right here when they're brand new for the first week, like I did in the other brooder. But for now, this will just make it so they don't jump out and get through a crack in the door, because the door, it was made to keep horses in, not baby chicks. So anyway, I'm going to spread out some shavings in here and call for a little bit of muscle to help me move those lights, get them hung up in here, and we'll have chicks moved in here before long. That was good on the tip. Just my old knife. So we've got the feeders all hung, and they're just hung from this chain, and then those are just eye bolts that are open so you can slip a chain through real easy, holding the water and the feeders up. And that way I can raise them up and lower them down as the size of the babies change. You know, you raise them up so they're not walking in their food, you know, as they get bigger, and they're low enough they can still eat them. And these chicks are just over a week away from going out on pasture. They'll be 2 weeks old in about 4 days, and so in about 9 days they'll be out on pasture thereabouts, and eating bugs and green grass. Anyway, successful move, and it's drier here. Hopefully things will work out better for them here while we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with the roof. But anyway, this is Dan, Blue Dog Farms. I think I'm going to put a couple of things away and head for the house for the night. And you have a blessed day.